Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, I'm Dr. Gail. This is Mary. We're at the Rustic Raven in Florence, South Carolina, and I'm glad you're all here. Oh, I see everybody's here. I can see all sorts of things going on, and actually, I've gotten better. We're on the computer, and I'm gonna be able to see questions here, and so is she. And I just want to say this is for entertainment purposes only, and we are here to answer your questions. And I see you're already posting some, and we got moderators this time. Woohoo, moderators!
So you have it pulled up on your end?
I got it.
Okay, because I can't see them, so I'm just gonna take mine off if you can see.
You got a live chat.
Apparently, Gail knows how to wear this better than I do.
I showed Mary something.
Congratulations!
That never happens. Oh my gosh, I showed Mary something. So I'm going to just do a shout out to a few of you that are here. Oh, hi, Sunny, Intuition, and Vivian. Thank you for the moderators. Thank you for showing me the moderators. And Starfish, hi. It was H, hi. And I see, oh, hey, Susie.
Hey, Lise.
Yeah, Butterfly Kisses, Alphanumeric 1. Butterfly Kisses, Healing, BJ. Woohoo! Back to you, BJ. And Genty, and okay, Elsie Hamilton, Juno. Hey, Juno. And let's see who else is here. Well, we're going to start on questions if y'all have any, but I do want to let everybody know this is for entertainment purposes only. And because I'm not to 1,000 subscriptions, this video will be taken down today for YouTube to look at it, and it'll come back up by tomorrow morning. I think they examine it or look at it before they put it back up. So anyway, don't panic when you don't see it back up, or if it cuts off in the middle of you looking at the replay, it will be back up tomorrow morning. So, all right. Any questions? We're going to talk about ETs and shamanism, and
you have a question right away from Sunny Intuition. They've been told that they're Arcturian and on the council working while they sleep, and would like to know more about connecting like you do.
Yeah. Who was that? Who's that?
Sunny Intuition, I think.
Oh, Sunny. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great for you being on the Council of Arcturians. Yes. I'm trying to look for your question here. How far down is that one? There it is. I've been told I'm Arcturian. I'm going to say I've been told I am an Arcturian, and this is from Sunny Intuition. And I am on the council working while I sleep. I would like to know more about connecting like you do, Dr. Gail. Well, I can tell you, Sunny, how it happened for me is I got quiet when we went in for COVID, and I started meditating. That's when it all started happening for me. Of course, I've been started off as an infant going up to the Space Force. So look how many years I haven't known anything about what I was doing. So I think when your life is busy, that you are going while you're sleeping, and you have an excuse when you get tired in the mornings and say, I was working all night on the spaceship. But the Arcturian spaceship is my favorite spaceship. It's beautiful. They are like done in blues and purples, and they have a little bit of amber. And they look like them because, Arcturians are blues, so they kind of blend in. And I'm thinking they probably look at their colors like we look at tan, like our skin. So I don't think they see it like I do, but it's a pretty spaceship. But yeah, Sonny, you're going to need to get quiet. I don't know if do you meditate, or do you go out and run or walk or getting out in nature where your mind goes away? Are you doing any of those things to kind of let your mind relax and let it come in? If you know this much, that means that it is going to come. I just think your life needs to get still. If you have a family and you're working and you're going around crazy, then that might not be the time that you are going to find out what's going on. So I hope that answered your question. And if you want more details about it, just email me down in the description box. Mary's information this time is in the description box. Her phone number, so she doesn't have to say it slowly this time. It's in the description box.
I talk fast, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like I talk fast.
Okay, all right. Okay, Susie, how do you know where you are on the medicine wheel? That's for you.
So there's lots of different kinds of medicine wheels according to different cultures. The particular medicine wheel that I teach is of the Andean culture. So with that one, it's more stripped of their culture and beliefs, and we just take the parts that help us heal. So the parts that are collective, the parts that belong to everybody, the universal energy of, the healing of, the emotional and psychological healing parts of. So we're in the south of that particular medicine wheel when we're working through core issues. This is usually at the beginning of a cycle. We're working through things like rejection, lack of safety, abandonment, things like that. When we're in the West, we tend to do a lot of ancestral healing. We're looking at learning different kinds of energies. So this is where we learn how to discern dark energies or hucha from dark beings or low vibrating beings, from lost souls, and how to cross those over. We overcome fear in the West and let old versions of ourselves die. So when we're in fearful spaces, fearful of death, this is ego death, physical death, and death to old versions. All of that's in the West. In the North, we're learning our power. We're learning how to return soul pieces to ourselves. We are restoring our power to ourselves, and we're learning a lot about quantum healing, quantum physics, and different things, and how our thoughts affect everything around us, how we literally create our reality by our thoughts and the vibrations that we send out. And in the East, this has to do with our destinies and how we have co-created everything, and we are coming into alignment with our highest path. And like I said, there's lots of different renditions of this from many different cultures. So if there's a particular culture that speaks to you or that you come from, there are different earth medicine books and things like that you can look into to see where you feel aligned on your personal journey.
So her question is, how do you know where you are on that wheel?
Well, only you know what you're going through. So if any of the things that I said resonate with anything you're going through, then that's how you would know what direction you're in. If you're overcoming a lot of fear or working with ancestral stuff and physical diseases, emotional disruptions that have been passed down from ancestors and traumas and things like that, you're probably in the West of the wheel of your life right now. So just any of those parts that resonate with you, because I don't know like what you're going through or anything like that. We did have a question where someone said that they saw a spirit guide or had a spirit guide that was an alien, but they want to know how they know if this is an alien that's projecting and connecting, or if it's an alien that's physically on the planet. When we connect in and see them.
Wow, that's a great question.
It is a great question.
I'm not real sure how you would know the difference if they're projecting or on the physical plane. I'm not sure we are advanced enough to know that. I would say ask them. Ask the next time you see your spirit guide, just ask them, because they'll answer you. But I'm sorry, I really don't know the answer. Do you have any idea?
I think it's deeper than that. Also going back to quantum physics, because all of energy is one and it's not limited or contained within time or space, which means that when you do past life regression and go back in time to heal, you're not actually just healing the past, you're healing the present and the future, because nothing is linear. So when we are connecting with interdimensional beings and we're seeing them, they could be in one space or one planet, but they are also here. So for instance, last night I astral projected to one of my clients who I'm actually also friends with. I knew this client before they became a client, and we just met in a bar, and I was like, hey, how have you been? And she was like, hey, I didn't expect to see you here, but I've been meaning to talk to you. So I woke up, I text her, and she said, yeah, 3 other people texted me this morning and said they met me in that bar too. So were we actually there? Maybe not, but we were.
Yeah. Well, so. I mean, it's the same as me, because when I go to the spaceship, I'm going up as my light being. And when I'm in the spaceship, I astral travel to see what the other hospital spaceships are doing. So I'm traveling as a light being, and I'm also astral traveling when I get there. And it's also whenever I'm here, my body's here, and the time changes. Like I can be here for 15 minutes and do a whole day's work up there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of different things. And it's just recently that I've recognized that. It actually was Medium Kim who was asking me these questions like, do you astral travel in a spaceship? But she was having trouble grasping it. And I finally got it, what I was doing. It's actually my light being body, or my soul. People call it your soul. And then when I do get up there, so I know the difference between astral traveling and my light body going. There's two different things. So,
and I think that's essentially what you're seeing when you connect with these guides is their energy coming to you, their light body coming to you, and yours connecting with them as well. Because there's a lot that our physical bodies just literally cannot do in this plane of existence. But our spirit and our energy is limitless and can do anything and everything and is everything and everyone. So
that's pretty deep for us, isn't it?
Hey man, can I cuss? Am I allowed to cuss?
No.
No? Okay, I'm not going to cuss, but I'm pretty deep.
No cussing.
I caught myself.
It's hard. It's hard to do sometimes. So anyway, we got some more people here. Hey, everybody. I see Warrior Girl. I see Sherry. Damaris, hey. I'm going down to see some questions because we were talking for a long time on that. I'm sure there's some other questions out there. Sasha, I haven't seen you yet. As a whole, humans are boring. What makes us interesting to aliens? Oh my gosh, we are very interesting to aliens because we have a very melting pot on this earth, and we have all this potential that they see. Now, like the Pleiadians are here to help us. Well, they're all here to help us. Not all of them, but they're here. Most of them are here to help us ascend. And the Pleiadians have already gone through what we're going through, going from 3D to 5D. So they're here to help us do that. Now, the Arcturians did help the Pleiadians do that transition. And so it's almost like the Pleiadians are helping us. And it also helps the whole universe ascend to a different level when they can get us to do that. And so that's why they're interested in us. And we do have a very big variety of living beings and things, an assortment, and they're all interested in that. So that's why they're interested in us.
That's what I was going to say, was that I think humans are the only beings who actually think humans are boring.
Yeah.
It's an honor to get to incarnate as a human because there's so much here to experience. Mm-hmm. Earth is considered lush. There's animals and plants and fauna and flora. There's so much here. There's emotions to experience. There's sexual things to experience. There's a lot here to experience and to explore. So I'm sure they find us amazing, even down to like our brain reducers and how little we can see as humans. That I'm sure they find us really amusing and then also sarcastically amusing at the same time.
Exactly. They do. They really do. All right, let me see. What is Genty? Hi, Dr. Gail and Mary. This is a nice change of conversation for what's going on. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're exactly right, because I don't do politics, so I appreciate that. Yeah, this is a different change. Let's see if I see. What do the Arcturians think of? No, we're not doing any kind of politics. I'm sorry. No politics. White Dragon. Are the ETs, especially Arcturians, engaged in the mess? Oh, we're not doing political questions. I'm sorry. Thanks, Vivian. She's saying, please type questions in all caps. Thank you. June. Oh, hey, Juno. I'm still looking. Let's see. Okay, Carol Gallagher. My Kasha record states I go back to Lemuria. Yes. Does that mean I have ET beginnings? Oh, almost.
Everybody. We're like all hybrids. And I actually downloaded on the 22222 portal this whole thing about the battle there and everything. And I'm going to keep that to myself because that's for, whatever. But it surprised me how many people that I knew in this incarnation that were also in that battle with them. So at this point, most everybody is some sort of hybrid, and our light beings are continuing to change and shift and rise. as we incarnate and starseeds come through. And
like Lemuria was created by 3 species, and it was the Palladians, Sirius B, and who's the third one? There's 3 different ones. So more than likely, you either have DNA from all 3 of them, or have a real strong DNA for one of them. I've got it written down what all 3 of them are. I don't know why. I don't remember off the top of my head who they are, but there is 3. Yeah, there's 3 of them that are in Lemuria, and I imagine you have a strong connection to one of those species. Okay. Hey, Susan. Hello. Can you tell what alien race I'm from? Susan, I'm not very good at that. I am so sorry. Are you good at telling what alien race people are from?
When I connected with their energy, usually in session, I can read like that. But also keeping in mind that just like the last question we were talking about, this is your energetic DNA, which means that you probably have a mixture, because you're not just going to be one thing. You might have one thing that overshadows everything else, or realms where you just came from, or realms where you're going to be going next that speak more loudly in your energy fields. But there's probably a mix of different starseed energetic DNA there.
Well, also, you go from planet to planet, and if you don't like a particular planet, you don't take up those traits, and then you go to the next planet and you do like it, you take on those traits. And I equate it to, like, say you live in New York City, and that's where you're born. I've got all those traits from being there, and you move down to Georgia. Well, you hate it. You hate living in Georgia, so you don't take on those traits. And so then you move to Washington State. You love it, so you take on all those traits. You embrace everything about it. So you've had so many different lives that you've embraced some of the planets you've been on and taken on, and some of them you're not. And then when you have a reading with somebody and you're asking them, where am I from? What traits might be showing up, might not be the actual planet you're from. So sometimes it can get a little muddled like that. Okay, let's see. Guadalupe, hey. Okay, that's another political question. Sorry, we are doing political questions.
Well, we did choose to go live on although in our defense, we chose this day to go live a month ago.
I know.
I mean, Russia just invaded our space as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like going, oh no, we're going live today. Okay, White Dragon, how can one ask to be taken on a visit to the mothership of the Arcturians? Well, I'm not sure about asking us a good question, because I love that spaceship. Only times I've been on there, well, I've been on there a lot because I go on rescue missions and I take Arcturians back to their spaceship. So, and I've also had to go in and help them, with some cases that they have, because I am a doctor and a surgeon, and I am taking care of all humans and aliens. And so they have invited me on there, but it's because of my medical expertise that I'm asked to come on there. And they are pretty reserved. So I'm not sure that they would want to randomly have somebody come up there. I think our spaceship, the gray hybrid spaceship, would be a lot more receptive to people coming up there. But I'm not so sure the Arcturians would be. They're a very reserved race. So, okay. Carol Gallagher. Question: my caustic records state that I go back to Lemuria. Does that mean I have? Oh,
we did that one. Yeah.
Okay.
She just wanted to mention you again.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention you. I must have gone back. Do ETs use holograms? Juno. Yes, they do.
End of question.
That was easy. Okay. Susie, Indigo Spirit, NSEW. Can you give a brief description of each? Oh, you've already done that. The north, south, east, west. I think that's you. I got it. North, south.
I didn't get it. You got it. Good for you.
Oh, hey, Zeta. Let's see. I must have gone up by accident. I am looking for caps, but I see Wendy O. Dr. Gail, how often do you go up to the spaceship to help? Nightly, monthly? Do you have a set schedule? I don't have a set schedule, and I'm sure I'm working up there a whole lot more than I think I am. But as I said, 15 minutes on Earth is a whole day of work up there. So they can take me out while I'm sleeping for 15 minutes to do a whole day's work up there. But I do go up there often. But like right now, me sitting here, I know what's going on in the spaceship. I can't be active at both places at the same time, but I'm aware. Like if I'm on the spaceship, I've got to be doing really easy work here, like just sitting or meditating, or I can actually be hiking in the woods and be working up there, but I can't do two things at one time. My body can't be doing two things at one time. So I go up there often. I can right up there right now if I want to see what's going on. Like check on Mary in her office. yeah. Her office was right next to mine. So I can zip right up there.
You came into one of my sessions the other day.
Oh, I did?
So after our last live where I told you that someone had just stepped in when I saw an implant and removed it and thrown it on the floor and crushed it. And you said they were making fun of you because you thought that that's what you needed to do. The very next time, it was just a couple of days after that, I think, I saw another implant and I saw the being come in and take it. And I was like, all right, here's Gail just crushing things again. And this time they put it in like this little glass container and just like
incinerates it.
Yes. I was going to say combust, but incinerate's a better word. It just went and it was gone. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, whatever Gail's got going on with this being, they need to figure that out.
We have got to figure it out. We got it. We're doing it.
You guys are being so passive aggressive at each other through me.
Oh no, we're not being. We work really well together. I can't even function without Clarice. Oh my gosh.
Like best of friends, kind of passive aggressive.
Yes. I mean, she keeps me straight because I'm the one that's kind of the comedian or the making fun, and she's real structured and wants to have everything done just right. And I'm not that person, so I drive her crazy.
I can imagine. I did get a question from Susie. She asked if we are supposed to create our own medicine wheel. That's a good question. You don't have to create a medicine wheel, though. The medicine wheel just represents certain aspects of your journey and maturation, your spiritual maturation, while you're on this planet. Some people, while they are consciously working their spiritual journey, do create a medicine wheel, like out in their yard with some stones or, something like that, where they can just consciously put their physical bodies in this spot and meditate on what they're doing. But that's definitely not necessary. You can talk to any of my medicine wheel students. When you are just in that direction, you are in that direction and there's no denying it. You don't have to create anything. You don't have to make anything. You're just there. So no, that's not necessary.
All right.
And Sasha said that her son saw a craft hovering over the house. Were they fueling up using power lines?
Wow. Generally, no, they don't use power lines. They generate their own energy. They might have been hovering over the power lines, but they weren't using that for energy. They are way above us on fuel sources and things. And no, that's not what they were doing. They were just hovering. That was another easy one.
So now I think we're back to where we were since yours went back up.
Thanks, Gina. Yeah, please everybody hit the like button. I appreciate it.
Did you see this one? Did you answer that? I can't remember.
Warrior Girl. What did the ETs have to say about artificial and quantum intelligence here for the... Wow.
Thanks, Warrior Girl.
Let me find that question and look at that one again. What do the ETs have to say about artificial and quantum intelligence here for our future? I got it. First it went over my head. Now I got it. I actually haven't talked to them much about it because I haven't run in a lot. I really haven't run into a lot of artificial intelligence with them. I mean, their artificial intelligence is kind of different. It's almost like you integrate with it. Like in my spaceship, I put my hands up on the windshield. It's not really a windshield, but on the front, and I integrate with the whole thing. It comes alive, and the energy is in the spaceship. It doesn't need fuel. It doesn't need anything like that. So They're contained. They have different ways of doing energy, and probably quantum would be, I guess, the term to use. But yeah, it's just totally different. Like the spaceship's almost alive. Like I'm talking to it telepathically, and whatever it comes out of my brain and I'm saying, it does. Which I have gotten myself in trouble a lot with that, because if I ever, when in the beginning, I used to say, "Oh, I didn't make any mistakes. I was so good." Well, they showed me what I did, and what I did was, if I could, can I see that ant on Earth, or can I see that dog over there? And I would go zooming down, looking at it, and anyway, I frightened a lot of people, so they took that out of the computer system. So I can't do that. I wonder if anymore. So yeah, you just integrate with it. This is totally different. They don't use electricity. They don't use any of that. This is way beyond what we use.
That makes me think a little bit, though, because we do as humans have such wandering thoughts, and there's so much in our subconscious and so much of our brains that we don't consciously use.
It gets me in trouble all the time.
So, but do the ETs, do they not have that?
No.
Their thoughts are just very straightforward and exactly what they want. Okay.
So I'm sitting here thinking, "Oh my gosh, you're ugly." Well, they're knowing it. They're hearing it. They got it. And I'm not, and I'm like, But then I'm going, "Oh no, they heard that."
On their planet, they're beautiful.
I know. But I forget it all the time. All the time I forget it. All the time.
Preconceived judgments. Jen, thank you. My information is posted up there. So if you want to just text that number, we can do that whenever you're ready.
Yeah, it's in the description box. I got y'all, like, we got moderators. I've got a community page, and I put information. And we went on our live, on the actual live. I didn't have to go back in. Haven't I come a long ways?
I'm really proud.
Yes.
I think you know more than me at this point.
And Susie has helped me. She has been so patient with me, trying to walk me through all this stuff. So thank you, Susie. So,
what is a true starseed?
I think everybody's a starseed. What I think people, and this is just my opinion, I think everybody's a starseed. I think the ones that people call starseeds are the ones that are being activated now. Like, they would call me because I'm activated, they would call me a starseed, and somebody who's not activated, who's just working in their sleep, they wouldn't call them a starseed. I call everybody a starseed, because I think we all have ET DNA in us, so we're all starseeds. I just think some of us have been activated and some of us hadn't. And usually when you get activated is when your life does slow down enough to realize what you're doing. Or it's time for you to be activated and go to work for them and acknowledge it.
I want to tell you something about this activation. They gave me a tool, right?
Yeah.
To activate.
Yes. Are you doing it?
It looks to me like a massage gun made out of...
Are you ready to tell people about it?
I mean, I guess I am.
Are you ready to come out of the closet of it?
I really like being in the closet, working behind the scenes like the Wizard of Oz.
I've got new gifts too, but I'm not ready to come out with it yet. So you go ahead and do yours.
I feel like I've already said it now, though.
Yeah,
so,
you need to. You already said it.
So recently I've been told that we're going to start activating starseeds, that people who have this dormant DNA.
Not us. She is.
Are going to start showing up because they need the light codes and that DNA activated so that they can start finding their role and why they incarnated. But the tool that they gave me looks like a massage gun that's made of pure light. And I just brought that up just to say that it is just really powerful. I've used it a couple of times in session where I take it and it's just like a little.
So anybody here who's wanting to get activated and wanted to know what you're doing, make an appointment with Mary. She's out of the closet now and she knows what you're doing. Yes. So this is a new gift that she's been giving, and she is able to activate. Well, actually, you're activating starseeds and aliens. People who don't know that they're aliens, she's actually activating them too. So anyway, so her number and description is in the description box. So contact her if you're anxious to find out, if you're wanting to get activated. Now, if your life is super busy, maybe it's not the right time. But anyway, it could be if you want to get activated. So.
This usually presents as people who are starting on their spiritual path and going through a lot of things and ready to let go of the past and heal and move forward into who they're meant to be. We did receive a couple of questions. Someone wanted you to elaborate on the use of holograms, and someone wanted us to elaborate on implants.
Oh, okay. You want holograms? I'll take implants.
I do not want holograms. I don't want that question.
Holograms. Okay. You want me to do implants and holograms?
Yeah. Let me sit here for a minute. Let me get my sweet tea.
Yes, in the South. I've got some new cards. Speaking of sweet tea, and it is for people from the South.
You said you weren't going to pull them,
I know,
but I
wasn't
feel
gonna
like
pull
you
them,
should.
but they're so cute.
We are in the South, honestly.
Yeah, we're very Southern. So go ahead. So the holograms. I really don't know much about the holograms because I feel like. Did you pull a card for them?
No, that was letting them read.
So,
yeah.
And it doesn't have a very good box, but the cards are great. But the holograms, I don't really know that much about. I mean, I have dealt with the holograms, and that they can actually put their body. It's almost like astral traveling, but it's hologram. I don't even know how to say the difference between what a hologram and astral traveling is, except I think you're sitting there in front of the thing that makes you project yourself. And I think you're actually astral traveling. You're actually going.
I feel like it is actually where you have projected a certain thought and vibration into the quantum atmosphere and frozen it in a time loop using some sort of contract or padlock, and it repeats itself within the Akashic.
You should have had that question.
I didn't have the answer then. But this is the card that we pulled from the Southern deck, and it's called It's Blowing Up a Storm. So I feel like, politics aside, this morning I woke up, walked outside, I'm driving to drop the kids at school, and everything's foggy, but the sun is shining. It looked strange, and something in the air felt strange. I've had a headache for the past few days. A bunch of different light workers that I know of have been astral projecting in their sleep or not sleeping at all or having emotional upsets. And what I realized this morning, seeing the sky and sensing it through that, was that there is ascension. There's something happening. I think as a collective, we're leveling up. And something is shifting and changing energetically.
Definitely leveling up.
And this card, It's Blowing Up a Storm, speaks of strong momentum, sudden change, necessary shakeup, transformation, and hope. Remember, we can't grow without growing pains. We can't become and shift into the new without letting old versions die. So when something feels like a death, or when it feels hard, or when it feels painful, we're leveling up. Transformation. Now, implants.
Pass it off to me. Okay, implants. There are negative implants and positive implants, and they are what they put in you, and it can be different areas. The pineal gland, it seems to be their favorite place, but they can put more than one on a person. And these implants, negative ones, is for the negative entity to have direct access to your energy, and they want you in the negative. They want you depressed. They want you angry, and they feed off of that energy. They just love that negative energy, and they do want us to stay in the 3D. They don't want us to ascend, and so they'll put a implant, and it usually will happen when you've had a really bad time in your life and you're really negative. They'll put an implant in to try to keep feeding off of that implant. And what I do is I go in and take it out, and that person comes like right here at level, and they've been working with somebody. My favorite is working with a shaman, and then they come to me, and I go in and remove that implant, and I send them back to the shaman at this level, and then they can keep going up. And so they move out of that depression and that anger and whatever's holding them back. And there are positive implants also, and those are ones I don't remove, because generally that is your star family that you're connected to, and that they're generating information to you and helping you through your life, almost like your guides are connected to those implants. So I hope that answers your question.
Are those also in the pineal gland?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So this person, Damaris Wilson, said that they sent you a picture of the ship behind their house. And they said a couple days later, they woke up very dehydrated. Their tongue was like leather and drank lots of water and they felt exhausted.
Oh my gosh, you were on the spaceship. That's big, being dehydrated, especially if you want to be dehydrated and you want salty things to eat. Because I'm not a salty eater. I'm a sweets. I love my chocolate. And but when I know I've been working really hard, I'm wanting salt. And I'm also connected to the ETs. I can't stay connected to them for more than an hour because I get extremely dehydrated. So you were obviously working on that spaceship. I hope you're okay with that.
And yeah, that speaks of the different vibrations of energy too, about how their vibration is so much different and higher than ours, how it affects our bodies.
Right, and also the ET's vibration is a lot higher than even dealing with your relatives, I find. It's just like dealing with people who are past, I think it's a lot easier. It doesn't take quite as much out of me as going up to the vibrational level as the ETs and connecting with them. So it just takes a little more out of you connecting to the ETs.
White Dragon was talking about bilocation and how they do different things at one time. Kind of what's coming to me about that is that there are different waves. If you think of all of your thoughts as vibrations, that means that you have different vibrations in which you can ride. So we have beta waves, theta waves, all these different waves. And we have conscious waves, which are those beta ones. But then when you switch to the subconscious waves, that's what allows you to do two different things at once, energetically speaking. So when you're doing something consciously, you know you're doing it. But if you are driving and you manage to get from point A to point B, and then you get there and you're like, oh, I don't even remember driving here. I was on autopilot. That's because your other waves had taken over and they were actually directing while you were someplace else. So if we want to stop that, because it can expand our energy and we can pick up different things, then it's just a lot about energetic body awareness and mastery, and always calling your energy back to yourself each day so that you know you're not in other places constantly, because that can leave you feeling tired. But I think riding those different ways might be what you're doing.
Okay. I haven't moved down, but I see that Darlene is wanting to know, how do you know if they have an implant or a negative being attached? Generally, as I say, what they want to, if you're having issues with depression or anger issues, or even having suicidal thoughts, that tends to be what they really want to create on a person they're attached to. So if you're having any of those kind of issues, then you need to either go to somebody like Mary, who practices shamanism, and she will try to bring you up to a level that I can go in and take the implant out, and then you'll go back to her and do some more work, because usually there's a reason why you ended up with that implant and that negative entity, and you probably have to do some soul work, I guess you have to do, to make sure your vibration stays high, and they're not interested anymore. And usually when I send them back to her, that negative ETs are not interested in anymore. Your vibration's already too high. So I hope that answered your question, Darlene.
Someone wants to know about Planet Seaguard.
I think, didn't I talk to you on a show, because I remember that name? Was that the Green Planet? Who was that?
Jen.
You talked to me on a show and I said you were from the planet Seaguard and it was a green planet, like a yellow green planet?
She says she has a guy reaching out from there, but can't find any information.
Okay.
On it.
I'll have to go, and I know I said this to you last time, I'm going to have to write it down and go visit that planet, because I don't think that planet's on anybody's radar. And I'm not even sure it's a planet. It might be a star. It is, it actually is a planet. It's a very small planet. But I'm going to have to go physically, well, I guess I should say physically, my light body is going to have to go out there and look at it. And could you email me about that so I can remember to go visit that planet for you so I can get some more information about it? Because I'm afraid I'm going to forget it again. So I'm sorry. So email me and just put it in there, and I will see it, and then I will go visit it, and maybe even have to talk to you about it and connect to you so I can go visit it. So I'm sorry I forgot. All right, what's the next question?
You're not reading anymore?
Oh, well, you're way ahead of me.
When you describe ET appearances, their features are sci-fi-ish. Are there plans to help humans be accepting? Just like you always call them ugly.
I don't always call them ugly. Like, Clarissa's not ugly. She's really pretty, and she's a gray hybrid, but she's pretty, very pretty. But it is looking through a human's eyes. One more time about.
So, how would are there plans to make them look more accepting to us and our culture?
I think what's going to happen is we're going to see the ones first that we do accept, and there are a tremendous amount of humanoid looking ETs, and I think probably in our lifetimes we'll probably be going through most of the human looking ones because we will accept them a little better. And then I think we're getting used to seeing the other ones just as they are. We accept them just like we do humans. You know, when they look different from us, we eventually accept how they look. I don't think they're going to change how they look. I think we are going to change how we look at them. Okay.
Well, Warrior Girl had a comment because we answered a question earlier. She feels like we're behind the mark with AI, yet it can be controlled and manipulated by humans. So that was more of a comment than a question.
Yeah, you're right, Warrior Girl. That's all I'm going to say about that. You're on the right track.
So how does one know if they have an implant or a negative being attached?
I already answered that.
Okay.
Yay.
Have you ever met with the golden triangle head ETs?
I have not golden triangle. Now, I have met golden ETs that are their skin's cellophane. They were not golden triangle head. They had a normal head. In fact, they were humanoid, but their skin was like gold cellophane looking. In fact, they're the ones that have the star system. That's Solaris, and that's the star that we go to. All healers go to rejuvenate to their healing abilities, and that's the one that it's inside of a mountain. It's a blue mountain on Solaris, and that when you look to the side of it, the actual inside of the mountain is made of pinks and golds, all shades of it. And so that's the only gold beings I've been around. And actually, it was Monto and Ricardo. And Monto's the one that taught me how to fly spaceships. So I'm very used to the gold beings. And that's what's in Solaris. They're all gold beings, but they're more humanoid looking. They don't have ears or mouths, but they have eyes. So you're talking telepathically to them. And they're probably about 5-6 of them. Of course, as I said, I've never met a fat ET. Like the first time I went up on the spaceship and they put me in that tight uniform, they'd never seen anybody with curves. And I had to walk around in that tight uniform. It was awful.
Poor thing.
And then about 2 days later, they had made me a uniform that I could fit in. So.
I remember you telling me that story. That's funny.
Yes, it was embarrassing, but they didn't even act like they didn't even blink an eye. Here they're throwing me in the meeting of the first contact, which was an important meeting, and I'm having to sit down in that tight uniform. Ooh, that was rough.
But I don't think anything of it.
Yeah, they did.
Just the human embarrassment of it.
Yeah, it was because I was the only human in there, so they didn't realize. They were probably looking at that person walking really funny. Maybe that's how humans walk, or guess.
You know what? I actually had a connection thought because we were talking earlier about how they have very straightforward thoughts and ours are kind of all over the place. And they speak telepathically.
Right.
So any thought they had would be spoken.
Right.
Which is probably the difference. Whereas we can think separate from our speech.
Yeah, in fact, that is one of the fascinating things they think about us, and it also makes them not trust us. Because whatever
I don't trust this.
Whatever we're saying is not what we're thinking. Mm-hmm. And it makes them very wary of humans for that reason. And that does kind of separate us from not being at their level, is because of that. That's a very big differentiation.
And that's actually something even more modern, because the Aboriginals used to communicate telepathically as well.
Right.
So it's just us.
Yes. And of course, I mean, we have our little lounge on the spaceship. So it is the humans and the gray hybrids that are more human. So we're all able to talk when we go into our lounge. And it is the medical team's lounge, basically. But we do have some from engineering all come in that are human. But we do get to chit-chat all regularly there and just let us be human in that area. Of course, only go on the spaceship. I just have not been able to control my thought process. And I know they get like, look at that human, listen, she doesn't think we know what she's thinking.
I think all kinds of crazy things, if we're being honest here. Melinda wants to know how you know where you're from.
Melinda, we discussed this a little earlier. It is hard for us to know where you're from. We can connect to you. It's easier to tell, but you usually come from a lot of different planets, and you take on a lot of different traits. And usually when you're in a session, when somebody says, oh, you're a Palladian or you're an Arcturian, it might be that personality trait that's showing up for that session. So it's really hard because most of us have a lot of different DNA in us. The best way is to see what you're connected to, but also on Earth, it is mostly Palladians that are here. Is the majority of are Palladians, and it's because the Palladians have just recently gone through the ascension process, which the Arcturians helped them with, and they are now here to help us do the same thing to help Earth ascend. So I'm sorry, I can't answer that question directly where you're from, but you can. Mary's really good at it. You could have a session with her, and she'd probably pick up where you're from. That's not one of my gifts.
I've seen you do it.
I can do it, but it has to be pretty blatant because so many people are so muddled.
They are. That's why I say like in session or something where you can really dig into someone's energy and get deep in there and connect with guides and things like that is a better way to know. Julie wants to know if there's any requirements for activation or established practices or anything else. I have my thoughts. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, you're the activator.
I didn't know if you had any preconceived notions about that. I don't think that there's requirements per se for activation. I think that when a person is ready for activation, they just begin their spiritual journey. They start working through a lot of things, and their spirit, their energy, their higher self says when they're ready, not our conscious ego minds, because our ego minds are always, that's the human part of us that tells us that we need to do certain things in order to be safe or to be important or to have worth. And that part isn't the part that gets to say whether or not you're ready for activation. It's your soul and your spirit, when it reaches a certain vibratory level, that gets to say when it's ready to unlock the light codes and ready to really step into its purpose and its destiny. So there's nothing you really have to do besides experience, walk your path, do what you're called to do, heal, and keep moving forward. And when it's time, you'll definitely feel it, and you'll be sent the person who can help you with that, or guide who can help you with that. You don't have to source from outside of yourself either.
Okay. I'm not sure where that was.
The implants we were talking about, they're asking if they're implants from doctors here or from the Starseed family.
They're not from the doctors here. They're from your Starseed family, or or a negative entity that's attached to you during your darker days or life that you were having really issues, and they're trying to keep you down. And we all have had those days. It's just that if you're having issues getting past that, then you might have a negative implant with a negative entity attached to it. All right. What's next? What did I miss?
I'm looking over some
Where are we at?
Russia statements. Who knows? We're just here.
I'm sorry if we missed your questions. Go ahead and post them in caps again because we are all over the place here. So we're trying to get, and I know we've missed some.
Will only the Greys make their appearance in the near future or other species too?
Oh, yeah, I see that. Nancy. Hey, Nancy. Yeah, I think it'll be the Greys that'll show up first, and I think it'll be a Grey hybrid that'll look more human. In fact, I have met the one that they are right now saying is going to be the one they're going to send out first. To me personally, I don't think he looks right, and I am the only human on that committee, and I think I should carry more weight. He's a really nice guy, but I don't think he's what we will accept. And I'm hoping they'll change that in the future. But I think we're going to meet all sorts of them, but I think we're going to meet the humanoid ones first. I think it'll be the Grey hybrids, it'll be the Palladians. And I think it'll be our most human ones that we'll see first.
Have either of us run into Archangel Ashtar, the one in charge of the Galactic Federation protecting us, or any archangels?
Well, I deal with a lot of archangels. I know you do too. Mm-hmm. In fact, Michael has just recently shown up for me to help me do my work, and he's also helped me with the issue I had this past week. And he's just shown up, and also it was Ariel that showed up for me one time when my dog Moon was passing away. I kept going, "Why are you here? Why are you here?" Well, she was here for her passing away. She wasn't there for me. I had Mary that was helping me, and Ariel was helping my dog Moon, which I couldn't figure out why an archangel showed up for her. But now that she passed and she's my pilot and she's with me, my right hand person, on the spaceship. Now I know why she had an archangel show up for her passing, because she had more important things to do. But I haven't met this one, I don't think, but I have met a lot of archangels, and I know you have. Have you met this one? You haven't either? We're just poor workers on the spaceship. We don't get to be archangels over the Galactic Federation.
No, I haven't met any particular archangels who I would say are over the Galactic Federation, or anything like that. You have met an angel who, I don't know if you even want to talk about that. The angel that comes to you, I don't know who she is.
Oh, I have an angel. It's Gloria. Mm-hmm. She's with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's with me all the time, and she goes from angel to human. She's not an archangel, but she works with me all the time, and she brings in Jesus to help me. So she's beautiful, and she's the first one that came to me. She handed me a bracelet, and I knew it represented gifts. And it was the first person, my father, who had passed, that he let in to meet me. Of course, she's beautiful. That's why he let her in. And then, of course, he was the one that let me meet all the different ETs. But yeah, I work with an angel all the time. Her name is Gloria. She comes as an angel form for me. She helps people transition and helps protect me. And she also comes in human form, wearing white jeans, white t-shirt, and white tennis shoes. But she has the Dolly Parton white blonde hair, and this little bright light around her. And I'm just going, how can you hide your angel with that bright light around you? But she does. She likes coming in her human form.
I usually end up with seeing archangels at certain points during healing sessions, especially if there's light codes to be awakened. As far as messages being given to me personally and things like that, there's been less than a handful of times that an archangel has come to deliver that message, because soul loss can actually occur if you are not ready and expecting, and a large energy or presence such as that comes to you, because you have the ability to, one, feel too high of a vibration when your body's not ready, or two, to see too much of what's happening across the veil and in time and space, and it can fracture parts of the mind. And the human mind can only hold so much at once without being ready. But they do show up in healing sessions. Raphael comes up a lot. Michael comes up a lot.
I just want to let y'all know I have 2 cats at my feet that stay here in the Rustic Raven, and they are just passed out asleep. And what are their names? Juno
and Mars. Juno and Mars.
Juno and Mars.
I feel like I'd like to shake them awake, but then they'd be really bad. So Amy woke up at 2:22 and wants to know whether this was angelic or an ET. That is an angel number. I intuitively feel like it was some sort of ET trying to communicate.
Right. I feel like it was a Palladian because Palladians stay on that angel realm. Mm-hmm. So it was a Palladian coming in as an angel because it's hard to distinguish between the two of them sometimes because Palladians are so angelic and so wonderful that, yeah, it was a Palladian.
Miss Zeta says that she's dreamed of people with white jeans and white T-shirts and wants to know if they're angels.
I think so. They're coming in their human form, especially if they got a white light around them. You can see the white light. That's really how you tell if they're angels. But if they're showing up in your dream, yeah, they're just coming in as a human to meet you. And thank you, Vivian, for saying for entertainment purposes only. We do need that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Vivian. Always looking out after me. So,
and Susie asked earlier, and I kind of wanted to get to all the Starseed questions first, but Susie asked earlier what were the tools needed to work the medicine wheel and what did they all mean? I just wanted to say that those tools are not even necessary as a healer. Those tools, they are stones that we make into kuyas, so they're just different crystals that we encode with certain vibrations to be our allies and our spirit helpers to help us along our healing journey. I think for you, there would also be like a pendulum until you can feel and sense energy in a great way that will help you visually see how your chakras are moving. And rattles, just because the noise awakens the energy and brings it up out of the body. So when you're working on somebody, instead of having to dig your hand into their body to get to their energy, you can just bring the energy up a little bit out of the body. And that's what that does. But that's just very unique to the medicine wheel I'm teaching these students. It's very unique to the particular healing practice that we're doing because it helps you work through certain issues and bring healing on certain levels. But there will come a time eventually where you don't need any physical tools. Just like you mentioned earlier, Jesus healed by touching or thinking of somebody because of quantum healing. A thought is a vibration that is not limited by time or space. So we will have a lot of physical tools when you're first learning, but none of them are actually necessary to do the healing work.
Okay, we have time for one more question. It's getting about an hour there, and I don't really like to go much longer than an hour, but I do see White Dragon had a question. Have you ever traveled to the center of the earth or the moon? Well, yes, I have traveled. I've met Mother Earth. I've been down there. I was not comfortable in the center of the earth. I am comfortable being in the ocean, the sky, on earth. But when I went to the center of the earth, she was absolutely beautiful. She looked like clay. And, but I kept having to come up and pop my head out. It was like popping my head to breathe. Even though I was fine underneath, I was just getting claustrophobic. And anyway, she was wonderful. But yes, I have been, and I have been to the moon. In fact, as on the Space Force, the training is on the moon. So I did go up there a lot as an infant where the training was done.
I'm the opposite. I thoroughly enjoy going to the center of the earth. I like to cover myself in mud and turn myself completely black and dance in my shadowedness. But going to the moon gives me panic attacks. So there you go. I like being in space.
All right, everybody, we're going to have to go. Thanks for everybody showing up. Thank you. Appreciate it. This is for entertainment purposes only, and we will see you later. Thanks for all the great questions. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Trying to end the stream. I don't think I can touch it. I'm trying to touch it, guys.
Silly.